Part 1. Written and published by Mindset Masters Audiobooks. Self-discipline is the root of every major transformation in life. It is the silent architecture behind every powerful achievement, every great business, every financial success, every strong body, every meaningful relationship, and every deeply fulfilled life. Without discipline, potential means nothing. Without discipline, talent fades. Without discipline, ambition becomes frustration. But with discipline, you can reshape your mind, redirect your actions, and redesign your entire future. This audiobook is designed to help you understand, build, and master the inner force that determines the quality of your habits, decisions, and outcomes. Over the next 12 parts, you will learn what discipline truly is, why it matters, how to strengthen it, and how to make it part of your identity so deeply that it becomes automatic. Self-discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build. It is a skill, a practice, a mindset, and a lifestyle. Today, in this opening part, we explore the foundation, the psychology of discipline, the misunderstanding that prevents people from developing it, and the truth about what separates disciplined individuals from those who struggle to stay consistent. Understanding what discipline really is. Most people think discipline is about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. They think discipline is about pressure, willpower, and self-punishment. But that's not discipline, that's resistance. True discipline is not a battle with yourself. It is an alignment with your future self. Discipline is the decision to prioritize your long-term well-being over your short-term impulses. It is the ability to choose what you want most over what you want now. It is the internal agreement you make with yourself, that your life matters enough to be intentional, structured, and directed towards something meaningful. Discipline is not harsh. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. When you understand this, discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like freedom, because it is. Why discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation feels good, but it is unreliable. It rises and falls like emotion. Some mornings you wake up inspired. Other mornings you wake up tired, stressed, overwhelmed, or uninterested. If your success depends on motivation, then your success will always be inconsistent. People who rely on motivation start strong and fade quickly. People who rely on discipline stay consistent long after motivation disappears. Motivation creates excitement. Discipline creates results. Motivation makes you start. Discipline makes you finish. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. The wealthy, the successful, the fit, the productive, the focused, these people do not depend on motivation. They depend on systems, habits, identity, environment, and internal standards that function whether they feel like it or not. That is the power of discipline. Discipline is a skill, not a personality trait. Many people believe discipline is something you either have or you don't. They look at disciplined people and assume those people were always strong, organized, focused, and driven. But discipline is not genetic. It is built. Every disciplined person you admire started as someone who struggled. They weren't born disciplined. They learned it, practiced it, failed at it, got back up, and repeated the cycle until it became natural. Once you understand that discipline is a trainable skill, something shifts inside you. You stop feeling defective or unmotivated. You stop believing you're not that type of person. And you begin to understand that discipline is simply a muscle waiting to be strengthened. Your daily actions build your discipline. Your habits reinforce your discipline. Your identity protects your discipline. It grows as you grow. The real reason people struggle with discipline. People think they fail because they're undisciplined. But that is not true. They fail because they rely on the wrong strategy. They fail because they believe discipline is powered by willpower alone. They fail because they commit to too many changes at once. They fail because they never build the systems that support consistent behavior. Here are the 5 main reasons people lose discipline. 1. They expect discipline to feel easy. But discipline is supposed to stretch you. Growth requires challenge. 2. They rely only on motivation. When motivation fades, everything collapses. 3. They set goals without systems. A goal without a plan becomes a wish. A goal with a system becomes a habit. 4. They start too big. Massive changes that aren't sustainable create burnout. 5. They don't understand identity. You cannot stay disciplined with behaviors that contradict the identity you believe about yourself. These limitations aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of needing the right strategy. And that's what this audiobook will give you. The 3 pillars of lasting discipline. As you move through this audiobook, you will build your discipline using 3 foundational pillars. They are discussed in depth across upcoming parts, but here is the overview. Pillar 1. Clarity. You cannot be disciplined about unclear goals. You cannot commit to a future you haven't defined. Clarity gives direction, meaning, and structure. Without clarity, discipline collapses. Pillar 2. Consistency. Small habits, repeated daily, reshape your entire life. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. The wealthy, the healthy, the successful. These people win because they stay consistent long enough for results to compound. Pillar 3. Identity. You cannot sustain behavior that conflicts with your self-image. To become disciplined, you must become the kind of person who sees discipline as part of who they are, not something they force. Discipline that flows from identity becomes effortless. The future self principle. The most disciplined people in the world are guided by a single mental model. Your actions today are a gift to the person you will become tomorrow. When you skip the workout, your future self pays. When you waste your money, your future self pays. When you procrastinate, your future self pays. But when you push through discomfort, your future self thrives. When you invest instead of spend, your future self grows wealth. When you practice consistency, your future becomes easier, not harder. Discipline is nothing more than a conversation between who you are now and who you want to become. The question is, do your daily actions honor your future self, or betray them? The cost of an undisciplined life. Without discipline, life becomes a cycle of repeated mistakes, wasted time, financial instability, health problems, toxic relationships, and unrealized potential. When discipline is weak, your impulses run your life. Your cravings, emotions, distractions, and fears dictate your decisions. Lack of discipline leads to a low energy, inconsistent habits, emotional reactivity, a lack of progress, a procrastination, a regret, a self-doubt, a financial chaos, a lost opportunities, a poor health, a declining confidence, or a shrinking sense of possibility. People don't realize that indiscipline is deeply expensive, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Discipline may feel hard in the beginning, but life becomes much easier once you build it. Discipline creates order. Order creates clarity. Clarity creates progress. Progress creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. And momentum transforms lives. Why discipline feels difficult at first. Every new behavior requires friction in the beginning because your brain is wired to conserve energy and repeat familiar patterns, even if those patterns are harmful. Your brain prefers comfort, routine, and predictability. Discipline disrupts those patterns and replaces them with intentional ones. The discomfort you feel when building discipline is not a sign that you're failing. It is a sign that your brain is rewiring itself. You are literally building new neural pathways that support growth instead of stagnation. That is why discipline feels hard before it feels natural. It is a sign of transformation, not a sign of weakness. The first step of building discipline. The very first step toward a disciplined life is simple. Decide. Decide that you will no longer live on autopilot. Decide that you will no longer negotiate with your excuses. Decide that you will no longer be controlled by mood, comfort, or impulse. Decide that your life matters enough to be shaped with intention. Discipline begins with a decision. I build the life I want, not the life that happens to me. Once you make that decision, everything changes. Part 2. The real science of self-discipline. How your brain makes, and breaks, habits. Self-discipline isn't about willpower alone. It's about understanding how your brain works so you can build habits that stick with less effort, less stress, and less internal battle. When you understand the psychology behind discipline, you stop fighting yourself and start working with your own mind. This part breaks down the exact systems your brain uses to create behavior, so you can take control of every habit you build. The habit loop, the engine of discipline. Every habit in your life, good or bad, runs through a 3-stage loop. Cue. Routine. Reward. Everything you do, from brushing your teeth to scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m., follows this loop. Cue. Something triggers the behavior. A time. A location. Error motion. Error person. Error previous action. Routine. The behavior itself. Reward. Your brain gets something it likes, dopamine, relief, comfort, which tells it, let's do that again. If you can control the cue and the reward, you can change any behavior. Willpower is a battery, and it drains fast. Most people fail at discipline because they rely on sheer willpower. But willpower behaves like a phone battery. It starts full in the morning. It drains with every decision. By evening, it's nearly empty. This is why. You eat healthy early in the day but grab junk food at night. You're productive in the morning but procrastinate when tired. You plan great habits but don't follow through consistently. Real discipline is about designing systems that don't require willpower to maintain. Automation and motivation. Your brain loves routine because routine saves energy. It turns repeated actions into automatic patterns so it doesn't have to think. This is why building discipline is really about building structured autopilot. Automate your environment. Remove the things that break discipline. Add the things that support it. Examples. Keep your phone in another room during work. Put your running shoes beside your bed. Prepare your workspace before sleeping. Remove junk food from the house altogether, not just try to avoid it. When the environment changes, behavior changes. The 30-second rule. Anything you want to do more often should be accessible within 30 seconds. Anything you want to do less often should be harder to reach by at least 30 seconds. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to stop scrolling? Put your phone in a drawer far from reach. Want to exercise? Lay out your clothes and shoes the night before. Small frictions change everything. The power of identity-based habits. The wealthy, the fit, the productive, they don't act disciplined occasionally. They identify as disciplined people. Identity drives actions. Instead of saying, I want to be disciplined, say, I am someone who follows through. I am someone who honors my word. I am someone who doesn't quit. Identity creates behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. It becomes a loop. The two selves inside you. You have the short-term self, emotion-driven, wants comfort, wants easy wins. The long-term self, logic-driven, wants a better life, wants growth, wealth, health. Discipline is simply choosing your long-term self more often than your short-term self. You won't win every time. Nobody does. But every win builds momentum. The just 5 minutes method. One of the strongest discipline tools in psychology is microcommitment. Tell yourself, just do it for 5 minutes. Most of the resistance disappears once you start. Your brain hates starting, not doing. 5 minutes turns into 20. 20 turns into a full session. Small beginnings build giant results. Discomfort is not danger. Your brain is built for survival, not success. Anything uncomfortable is treated as a threat. Discipline grows the moment you learn this truth. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is the doorway. Every time you do something uncomfortable, your brain adapts. It becomes easier next time. This is how disciplined people grow faster than everyone else. They repeatedly step into controlled discomfort. Repetition, not intensity, builds habits. People focus too much on going hard. They want to meditate for 1 hour. Work out intensely for 2 hours. Read 100 pages a day. Real discipline works the opposite way. Small, repeated actions beat big, rare efforts. 5 minutes a day for 30 days or a perfect 1-hour session once a week. Consistency, intensity. Always. The discipline equation. Here's the simplest formula for building discipline. *** clear cue. Easy routine. Satisfying reward. Equals automatic habit ***. If any part is missing, the habit won't stick. Make the cue obvious. Make the routine simple. Make the reward satisfying. This is how you rewire your mind. Summary. What your brain needs to build discipline. Willpower drains. Systems win. Identity drives habits more than motivation. Repetition reshapes the brain. Environment shapes behavior. Small actions build consistency. Discomfort expands capacity. The habit loop controls everything. Master these, and discipline becomes a lifestyle, not a struggle. Part 3. How to build habits that stick. The 4-step discipline framework. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because their habits aren't designed to last. Discipline becomes easy when each habit you build is structured, supported, and aligned with how your brain naturally functions. In this part, you'll learn a practical, repeatable framework you can apply to any goal: fitness, money, studying, business, reading, waking up early, or personal growth. The disciplined life is built one habit at a time. This is how you build each one. Step 1. Make the goal specific and visible. Your brain can't commit to what it can't see. Vague goals create vague actions. Clear goals create clear actions. Compare. I want to be healthier. Versus I will walk for 20 minutes every morning at 7 a.m. I want to save money. Versus I will transfer 10% of every payment I get into my savings account. The second examples are crystal clear. Your brain knows exactly what to do. Make your goal visible. Put it somewhere you will see daily. A sticky note on your wall. A wallpaper on your phone. A notebook on your desk. A checklist on your mirror. Visibility drives consistency. If your brain sees it, your body does it. Step 2. Break the habit into micro-actions. Discipline collapses when the habit is too big. Your brain resists anything that feels overwhelming. So you shrink it. Instead of, read for 1 hour. Read 2 pages. Instead of, work out for 45 minutes. Do 10 push-ups. Instead of, study for 3 hours. Open the study material and start the first 5 minutes. When the action is small, the resistance disappears. When the resistance disappears, discipline becomes automatic. Small steps lead to big habits. Small habits lead to massive change. Step 3. Create the perfect environment. Environment is stronger than willpower. Always. You rise or fall to the level of your surroundings. If your room is messy, your mind becomes messy. If your phone is always near you, distraction always wins. If junk food is everywhere, discipline doesn't stand a chance. If your workspace is clear, focused work becomes easy. To build discipline, design an environment that forces success. Put your workout clothes where you'll see them when you wake up. Put your phone on the opposite side of the room while working. Use Do Not Disturb mode during study hours. Remove the apps that drain your discipline. Keep only healthy food visible. Keep your room clean and your desk organized. You don't need more discipline. You need better surroundings. Step 4. Link the habit to an existing routine. This technique is called habit stacking, and it's one of the most powerful discipline tools ever created. Your brain loves connections. If you attach a new habit to something you already do daily, the new habit becomes easier to remember and repeat. Examples. After brushing your teeth, meditate for 2 minutes. After making your bed, read 1 page. After your morning shower, review your daily plan. After lunch, take a 10-minute walk. After school or work, write in your journal. After dinner, prepare tomorrow's clothes. When habits are linked, discipline becomes automatic. Why this framework works. Most people attempt to build habits backwards. They try to start big. They rely on motivation. They expect immediate progress. They assume willpower will always be there. They jump between habits instead of building one at a time. This creates burnout, guilt, inconsistency, self-doubt, frustration, quitting. The 4-step framework protects you from all of that. By making the goal clear, shrinking the action, optimizing the environment, and connecting the habit to something familiar, you remove the hardest parts of discipline. You stop forcing yourself. You start flowing. The golden rule: 1 habit at a time. You can do anything, but not all at once. Most people fail because they try to turn their entire life around in 1 week. I'll go to the gym. I'll start a business. I'll study more. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. I'll meditate daily. I'll read 30 books. They overload. They collapse. They quit. Real discipline grows from focus mastery. Choose 1 habit for 30 days. Then add the next. This builds confidence, momentum, consistency, identity, lasting change. One habit mastered is worth more than 10 habits abandoned. The power of tracking your habits. What gets measured gets improved. Tracking your habits keeps them alive. This is why disciplined people use daily checklists. Cross off completed habits. Use habit apps. Track streaks. Review progress weekly. Completing a streak triggers dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, which makes you want to continue. Streaks build momentum. Momentum builds discipline. Make the habit feel like a win. Every habit needs a reward. If it doesn't feel good, your brain won't repeat it. Reward doesn't mean buying yourself something expensive. Reward can be a moment of pride, checking off a box, saying done out loud, watching a small piece of a favorite show, sipping your favorite tea, celebrating your consistency. The more the habit feels like a win, the easier it becomes. Master this, and you can master any habit. This 4-step system will transform the way you build habits. Make the goal specific and visible. Break the habit into micro-actions. Control the environment. Stack the habit to something you already do. With this, discipline becomes predictable. Habits become automatic. Progress becomes unstoppable. Part 4. The Science of Self-Control. How to train your brain to obey you. Self-discipline isn't just a personality trait. It's a mental skill that comes from understanding how your brain works. If you don't understand the brain, discipline feels like a fight. If you do understand it, discipline becomes strategy. In this part, we break down the psychology behind self-control, how your brain builds habits, how it reacts to temptation, and how you can train it to follow your commands even when you don't feel like it. The two brains inside you. Every day, you are controlled by two forces. The impulsive brain wants comfort, ease, pleasure, instant rewards. The disciplined brain wants growth, progress, mastery, long-term success. These two sides fight for control. The impulsive brain says, sleep more, scroll more, eat what feels good, do it later. The disciplined brain says, get up, focus, stay consistent, do it now. Your life is determined by which voice wins more often. The 10-second rule. How to stop impulses fast. Impulse lasts only a few seconds. The moment you feel like skipping a workout, procrastinating, overeating, reaching for your phone, leaving your tasks for later. You experience a 10-second wave of craving. If you survive the wave, the distraction loses its power. Here's how to beat the impulse. When the urge appears, pause and count slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. During those 10 seconds, your logical brain wakes up. Your emotional brain calms down. Your decision becomes conscious, not automatic. This is one of the core discipline skills. Control the first impulse. Because the first impulse is usually the wrong one. The dopamine loop. Why you avoid hard things. Dopamine is not happiness. Dopamine is anticipation. It's what makes you crave. Your phone. Junk food. Scrolling. Games. Comfort. Shortcuts. Hard things release less dopamine at first, but they create deeper long-term reward. Easy things release high dopamine instantly, but leave you empty afterward. Your brain has been trained to choose. Easy over effective. Fast over meaningful. Instant over long-term. Comfort over growth. This is why discipline feels difficult. The goal is not to eliminate dopamine. The goal is to ret-rein it. How to ret-rein your dopamine system. You ret-rein dopamine by controlling the source of reward. Make your brain excited for discipline, not distraction. Here's how. 1. Remove high dopamine distractions before starting work. If your phone is next to you, you will lose. Put it in another room. Not on silent. Not face down. Away. 2. Create small wins. Your brain loves finishing things. Break tasks into tiny steps so you get more wins, more dopamine releases. 3. Celebrate consistency. Each time you show discipline, acknowledge it. Say, nice. Done. Good work. That's progress. Your brain begins linking discipline with reward. 4. Make discipline the default. The easier the action, the more your brain chooses it. Prepare your environment so the discipline choice is the simplest one. 5. Delay pleasure. Not deny it, delay it. You can watch videos, you can play games, you can enjoy free time, but only after you finish your tasks. This flips the dopamine structure. Work reward. Not. Reward avoid work guilt procrastination. The order matters more than most people realize. The willpower myth. People think they fail because they have no willpower. Wrong. Willpower is not unlimited. It's not supposed to be. You can't rely on willpower to carry you through a whole day. It will drain. What disciplined people do differently is this. They use willpower once, early in the day. They design their environment to remove temptation. They automate routines. They reduce decisions. They follow systems, not moods. Discipline isn't about being superhuman. It's about being strategic. The 2-minute moment. When you're tired, unmotivated, or mentally exhausted, the biggest enemy is overthinking. You think too much. You debate too much. You delay too much. To beat this, use the 2-minute moment. Every time your brain resists a task, say, just do 2 minutes. 2 minutes of studying, cleaning, working out, reading, writing, practicing. Once you start, momentum takes over. Your brain hates starting, not continuing. If you can master the first 2 minutes, you can master the whole task. The self-discipline cycle. Discipline works in a cycle. Start small. Feel progress. Build confidence. Increase consistency. Strengthen identity. Become disciplined for life. Everything begins with simple actions done repeatedly. This is why disciplined people look like they have superpowers. They aren't stronger, smarter, or more gifted. They just mastered the cycle. Why most people never develop self-control. Most people fail because they rely entirely on motivation, emotion, feeling inspired, being in the mood, waiting for energy, waiting for the right time. Discipline ignores all of that. Discipline says, I will do it whether I feel like it or not. My feelings don't control my actions. My mind follows my decisions, not my emotions. This mindset separates disciplined people from everyone else. Train your brain to obey. The disciplined life begins with one idea. You control your actions, not your urges. You choose your habits, your environment, your focus, your identity, your future. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. Every time you show discipline, you tell yourself, I deserve better than the old version of me. And every time you repeat that, your brain listens. Part 5. How to build unbreakable daily routines that keep you disciplined even on your worst days. Self-discipline becomes easier when your life runs on reliable routines. Not rigid routines, but intentional ones. Strong enough to guide you. Flexible enough to use anywhere. Simple enough to repeat forever. A well-built routine removes the need for motivation, decision-making, emotional energy, willpower. It creates a life where the default action is the right action. If you can master daily routines, you can master discipline permanently. This part shows you how. The truth about routines, they aren't about perfection. Most people think routines must be flawless. Wake up at the same time every day. Follow the exact same plan. Achieve 10/10 productivity every morning. That perfectionism destroys discipline. Routines are not about perfection. Routines are about predictability. Your brain thrives when it knows what to expect. When your mornings, afternoons, and evenings follow a structure, even a simple one, your mind becomes calm, focused, and consistent. The less chaos, the more discipline. Why you need a default day. A default day is a simple structure you follow even when everything else goes wrong. Even when you're tired. Even when you're unmotivated. Even when life becomes stressful. Default days are built on the idea that discipline should work on your best days and your worst. Your default day should include 5 anchors. A predictable wake-up routine. A simple morning habit that sets direction. A work or study block that happens at the same time. A calm evening wind-down habit. A specific bedtime target. If you hit these 5, even loosely, you stay disciplined regardless of mood or circumstances. Discipline becomes maintenance, not effort. The 3 block productivity system. Long routines fail. Complicated routines fail. Overstuffed routines fail. Disciplined people use simple structures that repeat daily. Here is one of the most effective. Block 1. Morning momentum. This block is all about getting moving. Not achieving everything, just starting your day with clarity. Examples. 10 minutes of reading. Light exercise. Cleaning your space. Journaling. A short planning session. Something small, doable, and consistent. Morning momentum tells your brain, today I move forward. Block 2. Deep focus work. This is where you do your most important task of the day. Studying. Writing. Working on your craft. Job tasks. Creating content. Practicing a skill. 1 block. No distractions. Set a timer if you need to. The habit matters more than the duration. Block 3. Evening reset. The day should end intentionally, not randomly. Reset your space. Prepare your mind for tomorrow. Reflect on progress. Slow the nervous system. Choose one small win to complete before sleeping. Evening reset ensures tomorrow begins in order, not chaos. The power of routine stacking. Routine stacking means attaching a new habit to an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, read 1 page. After waking up, drink a glass of water. After coming home, clean for 3 minutes. After lunch, check your goals. After your work block, take a 5-minute walk. Stacking works because the brain loves anchors. You don't need willpower. You don't need inspiration. You don't need reminders. The existing habit becomes the trigger for the new one. Over time, your day becomes a chain of automatic discipline. The 2 to 3 non-negotiables rule. Self-disciplined people do not try to control their entire day. They control their minimums. Your minimums are your non-negotiables, the habits you complete every single day, no matter what. Choose only 2 or 3. Journal. Read. Exercise. Meditate. Study your craft. Clean your environment. Practice gratitude. Review your goals. They should be simple enough to do on tired days but meaningful enough to keep your identity aligned with who you want to become. When days fall apart, your non-negotiables keep you steady. How to make discipline survive bad days. A routine that only works on perfect days is a weak routine. Real discipline means designing habits that survive. Stress. Fatigue. Low mood. Procrastination. Unexpected events. Emotional overload. To build routines that survive bad days. 1. Reduce the start friction. Lay out your clothes. Prepare your workspace. Set out your materials the night before. Make starting easier than avoiding. 2. Simplify your morning decisions. Decisions drain willpower. Eat the same breakfast. Use a fixed morning sequence. Keep your phone away. Follow one pathway every morning. 3. Protect your first hour. Your first hour creates your mindset. Don't rush. Don't grab your phone. Don't react to notifications. Start with intention. 4. Build a bare minimum version of every habit. 1 minute of meditation. 5 push-ups. 1 page of reading. 5 minutes of work. 30 seconds organizing your room. Small action beats no action every time. Discipline grows from consistency, not intensity. The disciplined environment. Your environment is stronger than your intentions. If your environment supports your goals, discipline becomes natural. If your environment supports your distractions, discipline becomes painful. Here's how to design an environment for discipline. Remove temptation. Don't store distractions near you. Hide junk food. Delete apps. Keep your bed away from your workspace. Make your goals visible. Place your goals, reminders, affirmations, or trackers where you can see them daily. Create clarity. A clean space is a disciplined space. A chaotic space creates mental noise. Design your room for action. Put your tools where your brain can reach them. Books easily accessible. Workout equipment visible. Notebooks on your desk. Healthy food within reach. A disciplined environment removes resistance before you even feel it. The identity-powered routine. Your routines become unbreakable when they are tied to your identity. People with strong discipline don't say, "I want to read every day." They say, "I am a reader." They don't say, "I want to be consistent." They say, "I am someone who completes what I start." Identity creates loyalty. Loyalty creates discipline. To build identity-powered routines, repeat this question daily. What would a disciplined person do right now? When you act according to the answer, even once, your identity strengthens. And the stronger the identity, the easier the routine. The goal of routines is freedom. Many people fear routine because they think it limits them. In reality, routine gives freedom. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from procrastination. Freedom from guilt. Freedom from stress. Freedom from inconsistency. Freedom from wasted time. Discipline creates more life, not less. A well-built routine doesn't trap you. It frees you from your weaker self. Part 6. The discipline of consistent execution. Self-discipline is not built in the moments when you feel inspired. It is built in the moments when you feel nothing at all. The people who rise the fastest are not the ones with the strongest emotions, but the ones with the strongest follow-through. Today is about mastering follow-through. The mind searches for comfort by default. It wants the familiar, the predictable, the easy. Consistent execution requires training your mind to move toward friction instead of away from it. If you only act when your emotions agree with your goals, you will rarely act at all. Emotion follows motion, not the other way around. Create a small group of non-negotiables. These are actions you complete without excuses. They are simple enough to do on your worst day but meaningful enough to move your life forward. The key is not intensity. The key is certainty. Make the action so clear, so specific, that skipping it feels unnatural. Consistency becomes easier when your identity shifts. Instead of telling yourself to work out, become someone who trains daily. Instead of trying to read more, become a reader. Instead of trying to manage money better, become someone who respects every shilling or dollar. Identity eliminates negotiation. When you know who you are, decisions become automatic. Guard your environment. Discipline collapses in a chaotic space. Organize your room, your desk, and your digital world. You act like your environment. If your surroundings are noisy, distracting, cluttered, your mind will follow the same pattern. Order creates clarity. Clarity fuels consistency. Reduce friction. Place your workout clothes where you can see them. Keep your book on your pillow so you read before sleep. Place your phone across the room when you study. People think discipline is about forcing yourself through resistance. In reality, it is about removing unnecessary resistance so your good habits become the path of least resistance. Track your execution. When you write down your wins, even small ones, you train your mind to trust you. A simple checklist builds confidence. Every tick reinforces the identity you want. When you track, you remain aware. When you remain aware, you stay in control. Accept boredom. Discipline is not exciting. Sometimes it feels repetitive. But repetition is what rewires your brain. Anyone can act once. Discipline is doing the right thing long enough for it to compound. Boredom is a sign you are on the right path. Boredom means the habit is becoming normal. Avoid overthinking. The longer you sit with a task, the heavier it becomes. Start before you think. Move before you evaluate. You do not need to feel ready to begin. Starting creates energy. Waiting kills it. At the end of each day, ask one question. Did I do what I said I would do? If the answer is yes, your confidence grows. If the answer is no, correct with action, not guilt. Guilt drains energy. Action restores momentum. Consistency is not perfection. You will miss sometimes. What matters is how fast you return. High performers are not flawless. They simply recover quicker. One-off day never ruins a disciplined person. Returning immediately is the true sign of mastery. When you repeatedly keep your word to yourself, something powerful happens. You stop chasing motivation and start generating it. You stop relying on moods and start relying on standards. This is the moment your life begins to change. Discipline becomes your default, not a struggle. Part 7. The discipline of focus and attention. You cannot build a powerful life with a scattered mind. Focus is one of the rarest skills today, and because it is rare, it is incredibly valuable. The people who rise the highest are not the ones who work the longest hours, but the ones who direct their attention with intention. Focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. Your mind is not designed to multitask. Every time you switch tasks, you lose momentum. Discipline begins with cutting noise. Remove the apps, notifications, and distractions that constantly demand your attention. Your environment should support your goals, not compete with them. Begin each day by choosing the one task that matters most. That single priority becomes your anchor. When you work on it, you give it your full attention. No tabs, no scrolling, no background noise pulling you away. Focus turns hours into minutes and chaos into clarity. Practice deep work. This means concentrated effort without distraction for a set period of time. Start with just 20 minutes. Over time, increase your capacity. Deep work rewires your brain for strength. It teaches you that you can sit with discomfort, stay with a problem, and finish something meaningful without escaping into dopamine traps. Your attention is your energy. Every distraction is a leak. Every unnecessary notification is a drain. Protect your attention like you protect your money. It is a resource with limits. Spend it on what builds your life, not what steals it. Focus sharpens when you simplify your goals. Too many goals create divided energy. Choose fewer things, commit deeper, and give each one the attention it deserves. You gain more by doing one thing fully than 10 things halfway. The disciplined person prioritizes, eliminates, and concentrates. Train your brain to return to the task. Drifting is normal. The power lies in coming back quickly. When you catch yourself losing focus, gently return. Every return strengthens your attention. Every moment of redirection builds mental muscle. Use physical cues to shape your focus. A clean desk signals clarity. A closed door signals work mode. Headphones signal concentration. Your brain responds to these cues even without conscious effort. Set up your environment to tell your mind it is time to work. Limit your access to distractions. Put your phone far from reach. Disable unnecessary alerts. Block websites that trap your time. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Build systems that make focus the easiest option. Do not chase perfection. Focus is a practice, not a personality trait. Some days will feel sharp, others foggy. The discipline is in showing up with what you have and sharpening your attention moment by moment. Even imperfect focus beats scattered effort. When you master your focus, you master your results. A focused hour can outwork a distracted day. A focused life moves faster, feels calmer, and produces more than constant hustle ever could. This is how disciplined people create momentum, by directing their mind with intention, not willpower alone. Part 8. In this part, we focus on building resilience through self-discipline, which is essential for overcoming obstacles, staying consistent, and achieving long-term goals. Self-discipline is not merely about following rules. It is about cultivating mental strength, emotional control, and the ability to persist through challenges while maintaining focus on your objectives. The connection between self-discipline and resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and persist in the face of adversity. It is the quality that allows individuals to maintain progress even when circumstances are difficult or unpredictable. Self-discipline and resilience are interconnected. Consistent effort builds strength. The more consistently you practice self-discipline, the stronger your mental and emotional resilience becomes. Daily actions reinforce the mindset needed to overcome challenges. Delayed gratification. Self-discipline enables you to prioritize long-term rewards over short-term comfort. This ability to delay gratification strengthens your capacity to handle discomfort, rejection, or failure without losing momentum. Focus on controllable factors. Resilient individuals concentrate on what they can control: attitude, effort, habits, rather than external circumstances. This reduces stress, increases confidence, and enhances decision-making. The role of emotional mastery. Emotional intelligence is a critical component of self-discipline. Without managing emotions, even disciplined habits can be disrupted. The wealthy and high achievers excel because they regulate their emotional responses to stress and pressure. Maintaining calm under pressure allows for clear decision-making and reduces impulsive reactions. Failure and setbacks. Viewing failures as learning experiences rather than catastrophes preserves motivation and resilience. Temptation and distraction. Staying focused on long-term objectives requires controlling impulses and avoiding distractions. Practical steps to build resilience through discipline. Daily challenges. Set small, manageable challenges that push you slightly beyond your comfort zone. This trains the mind to handle stress, uncertainty, and discomfort gradually. Structured routines. Develop routines for mornings, evenings, and work periods that create predictability and stability. Discipline thrives in environments where habits are supported by structure. Accountability systems. Share goals with mentors, peers, or accountability partners. Reporting progress fosters responsibility and maintains momentum even when motivation wanes. Reflective practices. Journaling, meditation, or quiet reflection helps identify patterns in behavior, understand triggers, and refine strategies to stay disciplined. Incremental progress. Focus on consistent, small improvements rather than instant transformation. Compounded progress builds resilience and confidence over time. Case study. Resilience in action. Consider two individuals, Emily and Marcus. Emily sets ambitious goals but lacks self-discipline. When faced with obstacles or setbacks, she quickly becomes discouraged and abandons her plans. Her progress is sporadic, and long-term achievements remain out of reach. Marcus also faces similar challenges but has cultivated self-discipline through daily routines, accountability, and reflective practices. When setbacks occur, he adjusts strategies, maintains effort, and continues pursuing his goals. Over time, Marcus achieves consistent success and grows more resilient with each challenge. The difference lies in the ability to persist with purpose, demonstrating that self-discipline is the engine of resilience and long-term achievement. Overcoming common barriers. Procrastination. Combat procrastination by breaking tasks into smaller, actionable steps and committing to immediate action. Lack of motivation. Motivation fluctuates naturally. Discipline ensures that action continues even when motivation dips. Fear of failure. Reframe failure as a learning tool. Each setback offers insight for improvement and growth. External pressure. Develop mental boundaries and prioritize long-term goals over societal expectations or peer pressure. The compounding effect of discipline. Every act of discipline strengthens resilience. Each time you choose consistency over comfort, you reinforce your mental toughness, emotional control, and capacity for strategic action. Over time, the cumulative effect of disciplined actions transforms behavior, mindset, and ultimately life outcomes. Implementing resilience strategies today. Identify a current challenge and approach it with intentional discipline. Structure a daily habit that pushes you slightly beyond comfort. Track progress and reflect on responses to adversity. Celebrate small wins to reinforce positive behaviors. Adjust strategies based on reflection and learning without abandoning goals. Key takeaways. Self-discipline is the foundation of resilience, which allows consistent progress despite challenges. Emotional mastery enhances the effectiveness of discipline, reducing impulsivity and stress. Daily habits, incremental challenges, and structured routines create mental toughness. Accountability and reflection ensure sustained commitment and improvement. The compounding effect of consistent disciplined actions transforms resilience into enduring success. By integrating self-discipline and resilience, you develop the ability to navigate challenges, maintain focus, and achieve goals that may initially seem impossible. Consistency, structure, and emotional mastery are the pillars of a life where your habits drive success, not temporary motivation. Part 9. In this part, we focus on breaking bad habits and replacing them with positive, empowering behaviors. Self-discipline is not only about creating new habits but also about identifying patterns that undermine progress and systematically transforming them into behaviors that align with your goals. The difference between average results and extraordinary success often lies in the ability to replace destructive habits with productive routines consistently. Understanding habit loops. Habits operate on a loop of cue, routine, and reward. Recognizing this cycle is the first step toward change. Cue. The trigger that initiates the behavior. It can be a time, emotional state, location, or action. Routine. The actual behavior, whether positive or negative. Reward. The benefit you receive, which reinforces the habit and makes it likely to continue. Breaking a negative habit requires either removing the cue, replacing the routine, or altering the reward while maintaining self-discipline. Identifying self-sabotaging behaviors. Common habits that limit success include procrastination. Delaying critical tasks undermines productivity and confidence. Impulse spending. Poor financial habits impede long-term goals. Negative self-talk. Internal doubt erodes motivation and resilience. Avoiding accountability. Lack of ownership prevents improvement. Overindulgence. Excessive consumption of food, media, or distractions reduces energy for meaningful action. The key is to observe patterns without judgment and commit to strategic replacement rather than temporary suppression. The power of replacement habits. Replacing bad habits with productive ones requires consistency, repetition, and reinforcement. Consider these steps. Pinpoint triggers. Identify situations, emotions, or contexts that lead to negative behaviors. Define positive alternatives. Replace destructive routines with behaviors that provide similar or better rewards. For example, replacing mindless scrolling with a 10-minute walk or journaling session. Use gradual implementation. Transforming behavior is more sustainable when changes are incremental rather than abrupt. Track progress. Journals, habit trackers, and accountability partners reinforce commitment and provide feedback. Reward success. Reinforce positive behaviors immediately to strengthen neural pathways and solidify the habit. Case study. Habit transformation. Consider Michael, who struggled with procrastination. His habit loop was Q. Feeling overwhelmed by a large task. Routine. Avoiding work by watching videos or scrolling social media. Reward. Temporary relief from stress. By applying self-discipline principles, Michael identified the cue and replaced the routine with structured 25-minute focused work sessions using the Pomodoro technique. The reward became a sense of progress and accomplishment rather than temporary escape. Over weeks, the new habit strengthened, increasing productivity and confidence. Daily practices for habit mastery. Morning rituals. Start each day with behaviors that align with your goals, reinforcing discipline before distractions arise. Micro habits. Small, consistent actions compound over time, making habit formation more manageable. Environmental design. Adjust surroundings to encourage positive behaviors and reduce exposure to triggers for negative habits. Accountability systems. Engage mentors, peers, or tools that monitor progress and provide feedback. Reflect and adjust. Regularly review successes and failures to refine strategies and strengthen commitment. Overcoming resistance. Changing habits is inherently uncomfortable because it involves rewiring the brain and overriding automatic behaviors. To manage resistance. Anticipate discomfort. Expect initial discomfort and view it as a sign of growth. Focus on identity. Align behaviors with the person you want to become, not just the outcomes you desire. Use visualization. Imagine the positive results of adopting new habits to increase motivation. Commit publicly. Sharing intentions with others increases accountability and persistence. Key takeaways. Self-discipline is the foundation for breaking bad habits and forming empowering routines. Habits operate in loops of cue, routine, and reward. Understanding this is critical for change. Replacement behaviors, incremental adjustments, and reinforcement build sustainable new habits. Environmental design, accountability, and reflection support habit mastery. Consistency over time ensures lasting transformation and improved performance in all areas of life. By mastering the art of habit transformation, you not only strengthen self-discipline but unlock your ability to control behaviors, manage impulses, and consistently act toward your highest goals. Part 10. In this part, we focus on time mastery and prioritization, the essential skill that separates disciplined achievers from those who struggle despite their best intentions. Self-discipline is not just about willpower. It is about structuring your life to ensure that your energy, focus, and actions align with your highest priorities. Without effective time management, even the most motivated individual will fail to reach their potential. Understanding the value of time. Time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. Unlike money, which can be earned, saved, or invested, time cannot be replenished once spent. The wealthy and disciplined understand that how they allocate their time directly determines the outcomes they achieve. Key principles include: time as an asset. Treat every hour as valuable capital. Every choice about how to spend time should consider long-term impact and alignment with goals. Prioritization. Identify tasks that produce the highest return on effort. The rich focus on high-impact activities and delegate, automate, or eliminate low-value tasks. Avoiding time traps. Distractions such as social media, unnecessary meetings, or overcommitment dilute focus and reduce productivity. The 80-20th principle in action. The Pareto principle states that 80% of results come from 20% of actions. Disciplined individuals apply this to time management by identifying critical tasks that generate the greatest outcomes, eliminating or minimizing low-value activities, allocating energy and attention where it produces maximum results. This approach ensures that effort translates into meaningful progress rather than wasted motion. Daily structure for maximum discipline. Creating structure around time is key to embedding self-discipline. Effective frameworks include morning routines. Start the day with high-value actions that energize the mind, body, and focus. Early wins set a tone of discipline. Time blocking. Allocate specific periods for essential activities, deep work, and personal development. Protect these blocks from interruptions. Evening reflection. Review daily accomplishments and plan the next day, ensuring alignment with long-term goals. Task prioritization. Use systems such as the Eisenhower matrix to separate urgent tasks from important tasks. Focus on what truly matters. Energy management. Align high-energy periods with high-value tasks and schedule lower-energy periods for routine or administrative work. Overcoming common time management challenges. Procrastination. Break tasks into smaller steps, schedule start times, and commit to immediate action. Overcommitment. Learn to say no strategically to protect time and focus on high-impact endeavors. Distractions. Remove or limit exposure to digital and environmental distractions. Inconsistent routines. Develop repeatable systems that automate discipline rather than relying on motivation. Case study. Time mastery in action. Consider two professionals, Lisa and Aaron. Lisa has ambitious goals but no structure. Her days are filled with reactive tasks, interruptions, and unplanned obligations. Despite working long hours, her progress toward her objectives is slow. Aaron also has ambitious goals but applies disciplined time management. He prioritizes high-impact work, blocks focus time, and maintains a consistent morning routine. Over time, Aaron achieves significantly more with less stress, demonstrating the power of strategic time use. This comparison illustrates that discipline without structure is less effective, and mastering time is essential for sustained success. Tools and techniques for discipline. Daily planning. Write a clear plan for each day, prioritizing tasks that align with goals. Pomodoro technique. Use focused work intervals with short breaks to enhance productivity. Digital minimalism. Limit notifications, social media, and unnecessary apps that fragment attention. Delegation and automation. Free up time for high-value activities by outsourcing repetitive or low-priority tasks. Reflective journaling. Track how time is spent and adjust strategies to improve efficiency and outcomes. Key takeaways. Time mastery is a critical component of self-discipline. High-value tasks should be prioritized over urgent but low-impact activities. Structured routines, time blocking, and energy management increase focus and productivity. Eliminating distractions, procrastination, and overcommitment ensures consistent progress. Consistent daily practices compound over time, turning disciplined action into long-term achievement. By mastering your time, you control your life. Self-discipline is no longer a struggle of willpower. It becomes a systematic, structured approach to achieving your highest potential. Part 11. In this part, we focus on building mental toughness and the inner mindset required for peak self-discipline. While routines, habits, and time management create structure, true transformation comes from strengthening your mind, reinforcing willpower, and cultivating the resilience needed to consistently follow through on commitments, even when challenges arise. Understanding mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused, motivated, and confident under pressure. It is the foundation of self-discipline and determines whether you will persist when obstacles, distractions, or setbacks occur. Key traits of mentally tough individuals include persistence. They continue pursuing goals despite difficulties, setbacks, or slow progress. Focus. They maintain clarity on what matters most and avoid distractions that dilute energy. Emotional control. They regulate emotions such as fear, frustration, or impatience, ensuring decisions are rational and aligned with long-term objectives. Self-belief. Confidence in one's ability to succeed reinforces action and resilience. Strategies to build mental toughness. Embrace discomfort. Growth occurs when you step outside your comfort zone. Engage in activities that challenge you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Set stretch goals. Goals that push your limits create opportunities for personal development and reinforce self-discipline. Positive self-talk. Replace doubt and negative thoughts with affirmations, visualizations, and empowering beliefs. Daily micro-challenges. Completing small, difficult tasks each day trains the brain to persist under strain. Consistent reflection. Journaling successes, failures, and lessons learned builds awareness and strengthens resilience over time. Overcoming common mental barriers. Even disciplined individuals face mental hurdles. Strategies to overcome them include: fear of failure. Reframe mistakes as learning experiences rather than setbacks. Procrastination. Break tasks into small actionable steps and focus on starting rather than perfecting. Self-doubt. Reinforce confidence through repeated action, achievement, and reflection. External pressures. Maintain focus on personal goals rather than reacting to societal expectations or peer influence. Case study. Mental toughness in action. Consider two individuals, Anna and Jason. Anna has strong routines but struggles with mental fatigue and negative thinking. When faced with setbacks, she loses focus, procrastinates, and abandons tasks. Jason practices mental toughness. He confronts challenges with resilience, maintains a positive inner dialogue, and keeps pushing toward his goals despite obstacles. Over time, Jason achieves superior results and gains confidence from overcoming difficulties. The difference lies in mindset strength and the ability to persist under pressure, highlighting the importance of cultivating mental toughness alongside disciplined action. Techniques for daily mental strength. Morning mindset practices. Start each day with visualization, affirmations, or journaling to prime focus and confidence. Stress management. Use meditation, breathing exercises, or physical activity to maintain calm and clarity under pressure. Exposure to challenges. Deliberately take on tasks or situations that induce moderate stress to train resilience. Celebrate small wins. Recognize progress to reinforce confidence and sustain motivation. Mentorship and role models. Learn strategies from disciplined individuals who have successfully navigated challenges. The compounding effect of mental strength. Each day that you strengthen your mental toughness, you build the foundation for more complex, challenging, and impactful actions. Mental strength compounds, just like financial investments. Small, consistent improvements today result in powerful resilience and self-discipline in the future. Key takeaways. Mental toughness is essential for sustained self-discipline. Persistence, focus, emotional control, and self-belief define mentally tough individuals. Daily challenges, reflection, positive self-talk, and exposure to discomfort strengthen resilience. Overcoming fear, self-doubt, and external pressures is critical to consistent performance. Compounded mental strength allows you to tackle increasingly ambitious goals with confidence. By cultivating mental toughness, you ensure that your self-discipline is unshakable, even under pressure. The combination of habits, routines, time management, and mental resilience creates a life where you consistently act toward your goals, overcome obstacles, and achieve mastery over your habits and actions. Part 12. In this final part, we focus on integration, mastery, and the long-term transformation that self-discipline creates. By now, you have explored habits, routines, time management, emotional control, resilience, and mental toughness. All these components are essential, but the ultimate value comes from embedding self-discipline into every aspect of your life, making it a natural, automatic part of your identity. From knowledge to mastery. Knowledge alone does not create success. Many people understand what they should do but fail to act consistently. Self-discipline bridges the gap between knowing and doing. Mastery requires consistent action. Daily effort, even in small increments, compounds over time into massive results. Integration across life areas. Self-discipline is not limited to one domain. It affects health, finances, relationships, career, and personal growth. Identity alignment. You are more likely to act consistently when your behaviors align with your self-image. Viewing yourself as a disciplined, capable, and resilient individual transforms habits into identity-driven actions. The habit loop revisited. Previously, We discussed habit loops of cue, routine, and reward. Mastery requires fine-tuning these loops across all areas of life. Identify negative behaviors and replace them systematically. Reinforce positive behaviors through immediate and meaningful rewards. Automate actions until they become second nature, reducing reliance on willpower alone. Through repetition, reflection, and refinement, discipline becomes instinctive, guiding your daily choices effortlessly toward your goals. Long-term strategies for sustained self-discipline. Goal hierarchy. Establish long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals that align with your vision. Discipline is easier to sustain when every action is connected to a meaningful purpose. Accountability systems. Create structures that reinforce commitment. Mentors, accountability partners, or digital tracking tools can provide consistent feedback and encouragement. Continuous learning. The disciplined individual never stops learning. Knowledge strengthens decision-making and builds confidence, reducing hesitation and self-doubt. Reflection and adjustment. Periodically assess what works and what doesn't. Adjust strategies, routines, and priorities to ensure ongoing alignment with your evolving goals. Energy management. Prioritize rest, nutrition, exercise, and mental clarity. Sustainable self-discipline requires optimal energy to act consistently. Overcoming final barriers. Even after developing strong habits and mental toughness, obstacles arise. Complacency. Avoid settling into comfort zones. Discipline requires continuous effort and vigilance. External distractions. Guard your time, attention, and energy against influences that do not serve your goals. Unexpected challenges. Life will present unforeseen difficulties. Treat each as an opportunity to reinforce your discipline and adaptability. Case study. Mastery in action. Consider two individuals, Sophia and Daniel. Sophia has learned many self-discipline techniques but applies them inconsistently. When stress or distraction arises, old habits resurface, and progress slows. Daniel has integrated self-discipline fully into his identity. Routines, reflection, mental toughness, and prioritization are automatic. Challenges are met with resilience and adaptability, and he consistently achieves high-impact goals. Daniel's life illustrates the difference between knowing self-discipline and living it. True mastery transforms not just results, but identity and character. Daily practices for life integration. Begin each day with intention, aligning actions with goals. Use time blocking and energy alignment to maximize efficiency. Apply habit replacement strategies consistently. Reflect on progress daily or weekly and adjust where necessary. Reinforce discipline through mental toughness exercises, affirmations, and visualization. The compounding power of self-discipline. Self-discipline compounds like compound interest. Every disciplined decision strengthens your habits, enhances focus, builds resilience, and moves you closer to your objectives. Over months and years, the cumulative effect transforms. Performance. You achieve more in less time with greater quality. Confidence. Success reinforces belief in your ability to act consistently. Freedom. Financial, personal, and emotional freedom grows as disciplined actions produce tangible results. Legacy. Self-discipline enables you to leave a lasting impact on your life, relationships, and community. Key takeaways. Mastery of self-discipline requires integration across habits, mindset, routines, and life priorities. Identity alignment is critical. Act consistently as the person you aspire to be. Reflection, adjustment, and continuous learning ensure sustained growth. Energy management, focus, and prioritization amplify the effectiveness of disciplined action. Compounded self-discipline produces extraordinary results, transforming life outcomes and personal potential. By fully embracing self-discipline, you take control of your life. You no longer wait for motivation or external conditions. You create the life you desire through consistent, intentional action. Master your habits, master your life, and unlock the true potential within you. Written and published by Mindset Masters Audiobooks.